My experience is those people that go out there earlier on in their careers and go and spend lavishly on all of these things is that they have some kind of complex going on in their mind where they want to appear to be a lot more successful than what they are. Because the people that I've always come into contact with that are people that I would deem as being very successful, they're very, very rarely the dude wearing the Gucci belt and the Lambo. It's very rarely the case.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this about me, man, but I used to work in the music industry in America. I used to work with a lot of hip hop artists. And I took what I learned from that industry and brought it into the space that I'm in now. And one of the biggest lessons I learned was that we only have windows of time, and I saw really big hip hop artists that are at the peak. They got, #1 Billboard track. They're crushing it. They're getting all this attention. They have the, $1 million advance. And I saw over and over again, I saw them put so much money into BS things. Like they were buying like rent-a-cars, like really expensive luxury rent-a-cars. They were blowing money on gold chains that were worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and buying everybody drinks at the club. And it was interesting to see that happening with the newer generation. And then I would see the older generation hip hop artists that would be coming in with this, that were no longer inspired, they were desperate. And I even remember a particular artist, I'm not gonna mention his name, just out of respect. He came in, and this is a guy that I grew up off listening to in high school. And he was like, I need a hit, man, I need a hit. And it like kind of, the penny dropped and I was like, oh my God, this is like a drug for these guys. It's like they need the hit. He actually meant a hit record, but I was like, they're looking for that. And the same thing happens in the space that we're in with digital marketing and even, the self-development industry and business, same thing. And you've got to know where your window is and you've got to know how to play it. And it, like what you do now determines how far out you push that window. And it's about making decisions each day that are, simplifying those complex things and not selling your soul, and it's doing things in an ethical way. And just like the things you've mentioned, man, I love the fact that you're a grounded entrepreneur and you're able to share this with my audience, man. It's such a gift, because I feel like a lot of young cats are getting confused, and it's great to have a leader and a mentor like you.
Yeah, and thank you for that. And I think that if we're looking at like the broad brush strokes of like what we keep coming back to, if you had to kind of summarize it into one thing, it's really deferring that short term, like, success or that dopamine hit that we're just engineered to really go out and get, like Instagram, posting an image, getting a whole bunch of likes, or doing a launch and then showing everybody your back end on Stripe and how much money that you made, right? These are all the dopamine hits. And if you look at like the long term, right, that's really what it comes down to. Even with those, those hip hop artists that you were mentioning before, it's like they're chasing that one hit so they can go out there and go get that rented car and the gold chain, right? They're not thinking, how do I make just the most incredible album that will be timeless? And how do I pour my soul into this record? And how do I make it really, really good? And then if they did that, what they'd probably find is like, that record would have longevity and they'd get lots of radio play. So providing really good music and a really good like album, they're providing a lot of value to their audience, their prospects, right? And their customers, and then they'll be rewarded in the long term. But it's typically, unfortunately, people are always chasing that short-term dopamine hit. Everyone wants the silver bullet. They want that little Facebook ad hack that they can apply and explode their business. They don't want to ground themselves in the fundamentals of like, how do I make an incredible product or an incredible service and then just sell it for a long period of time and build up that goodwill out there in the marketplace towards me and towards my brand, where I literally just provide so much value that it's physically impossible for me not to be successful.
Yeah, it sounds like you keep it grounded in hardcore principles rather than falling victim to trends that come and go.
Yeah, like that's definitely the way that I like to think about it. And if you look at people like, Jeff Bezos and comments and stuff like that they make, it's like they're not looking at what they're going to look at. They're not looking at what's going to change. They're looking at what's not going to change, right? And I think that that's the mindset that you typically want to apply to it, because if you're going to be in this for the long term, it's physically impossible to constantly riding that hype wave of the next new trend or the next shiny object, right? Those things are going to come and go, like I've said repeatedly. The things that aren't are the fundamentals. So why not spend your time mastering those, because they're going to serve you for the rest of your life, and it's going to compound, and you're going to get compound interest on it.
Yeah, people want sexy, man. That's what they want. They want to think that success is sexy, and it's not. It's pretty unsexy. It's pretty uncool. It's a lot of the, you know, consistency, showing up and swinging the axe at the tree each and every day until that tree falls down.
Yeah, like people ask me all the time, like, dude, what's the number one thing that you could tell me to be successful? And it's like, well, just become somebody that's worthy of being successful. Do you know what I mean? Do the work. Yeah. Wake up every morning. You know, an hour extra earlier than anyone else in your marketplace. Do those really difficult things that all the unsuccessful people aren't willing to do to become somebody that's in a position where you are worthy of the success, right? Don't go and try get the success without being worthy. You have to put the work in. There are no shortcuts. There are no hacks. You just need to get out there and just literally roll up your sleeves and go get it done.